we have learned about how the input output is possible in Java program. So, the input output that we have learned so far, they are related to standard input and then standard output. Standard input namely the keyboard, and standard output is the display screen. Now, Java provides many more other than this input output related to only standard input and output devices. So, in today's module we will discuss about what are the different input output mechanism is possible in Java. So, this is particularly called the input output streams in Java. Now, again the new term that you are just listen right now is called the stream. So, the idea here is that Java treats any flow of data as a stream. Now, Java streams are classified into two major categories. They are called input stream and then output stream. Now, in order to provide a versatility in programming environment, Java developer provides a very good package dealing with input output stream. This package is called java.io. So, java.io can handle many what is called the types of devices for the source of input as well as many destination devices for the output. For example, the keyboard, mouse, memory, disk, network, these are the input from where data can be collected. Similarly, data can be streamed into other devices like display unit, printer, memory, disk, network like this one. So, there are so many devices that is possible by which the input output stream can be controlled. As I told you, Java provides the java.io packages to dealing with this input output mechanism. Now, basically the idea about the input stream and output stream is that your program can have any data streaming from any other sources. So, it is called the input stream mechanism. On the other hand, from your program you can pump data to some other source, then this is called the output stream, which we have discussed in the figure in these slides. So, this is the basic concepts of the input output stream. That means, from the program the data will be pushed to some, that is the output stream, or the program will read something from the input source. Now, Java IO package is meant for this managing input output stream, and it is an exhaustive package. So, now we will discuss about the basic what is called the structure in the Java IO packages. Now, all the classes those are there in Java IO packages, java.io, rather I should say java.io. All classes can be categorized into two broad categories. They are called byte stream classes and then character stream classes. These categories is basically divided in case of byte stream classes, the data input output mechanism is controlled in the form of a byte, whereas in case of character stream classes, data input output mechanism is controlled by means of stream of characters. Now, let us have the quick look of the total different hierarchy of the different packages, different classes which are there in this package. We can say that this is the Java stream classes. Now, as I told you, it can be divided into two broad categories, the byte stream classes and then character stream classes. In case of byte stream classes, there are again two categories called the input stream classes and then output stream classes, and so far the character stream classes is concerned, again there are two categories, reader class and then writer class. So, these are the so many classes are there, and essentially all these classes are to deal with the different sources as an input as well as output like memory, file, pipe. Now, pipe is basically related to the network channel. Now, let us first discuss each class individually one by one. So, first let us have a discussion on Java input stream classes, that is there in java.io package. Now, as I told you, input stream classes is basically meant for in reading something from memory or from a file or from a pipe, and as it belongs to the byte stream class, means it will read in the form of a byte. So, here is basically the total classes, those are there in input stream classes. As you see, a large number of classes are there, and all these classes can be mentioned like the file input stream, then piped input stream, filter input stream, byte array input stream, sequence input stream, then string buffer input stream, and object input stream. Now, here basically so many classes belongs to input stream class, because they are basically to deal the different input in a different manner. For example, byte array input stream class is basically how to read a data from an array which is stored in memory. It is just an example. There are so many classes like. As an example again, filter input stream class, if we consider, there are again many different classes belong to this class hierarchy. It is for example, data input stream, data input stream, buffer input stream, pushback input stream, etc. So, we see that there is a lot of classes, and I have just mentioned only one type, it is called the filter input stream. Likewise, byte input stream, there again other sub classes are there. So, our objective here will be to learn, it is not possible to learn all classes one by one, but at least some classes we can learn which are most frequently used. Now, so input stream classes, as I already mentioned, that it belongs to the byte stream classes. This means it is used to read 8-bit bytes, and it supports number of input related methods, and few methods which I have mentioned here, which are very common in any programming, like say how we can read a byte from an input source, how we can close an input source, how we can make a position of streaming in an input source, and it is skipping ahead into some, if we want to read the input one source not in a sequential manner, rather in a random manner, and then we can also find total number of bytes in a stream, etc. There are many such methods which includes in the input stream classes to process it, and the methods basically belongs to all classes are overridden method. For an example, the read method that can be used for any, say for byte array input stream, we can use the read array method for that. It is basically the overridden method, those are there in each classes. So, in general, a read method, as we see, that read a byte from the input stream. Now, this is an overridden method, read byte B, that means read an array of bytes into B. So, it will read and store into a temporary location that is there in the program. And read also has the another overridden method like byte B, int n, int m. So, it is basically reading m bytes starting from n and put into the array say B. Available is another method, it says that whether the input stream is currently available or not. Skip is basically for random accessing. So, it skip n means it will skip from the current location to n bytes ahead, and then reset also, reset the reading of location of in the input stream. Reset means it will start from the beginning, and then close, basically every stream has to be as it is open. So, as needs to be closed also. So, these are the some standard methods. We will learn all these methods when we will have some more detailed explanation regarding a particular stream class. Now, here again another example, data input stream is a very popular one stream class, and as you see there are also many methods which can be used. So, basically data input stream belongs to this byte stream classes, and it basically has many what is called the utility. So, it can read as a short integer, it can read as a floating point number, it can read as a read normal integer, it can read at a line, okay. It can read a long integer, it can read a character, it can read a boolean, it can read read some data in a UTF format. there are many other formats are there. So basically it basically tell that a data input stream, if we have an input, then we can read the data from that input source in a variety of ways. That is why the different methods have been planned, and according to your requirement you can fix that which method you should invoke in order to read a data. And this is the syntax. For example, whenever you declare a read is basically read an integer, return an integer value, and like this. So, read byte b, we have already discussed about that it read as a byte and store into the temporary array b, and like this one. And so, these are the few methods which we will learn while we will have a more detailed discussion on it. And so, method is, for example, long skip, void long skip, our parameter is long integer, and then it will skip to some location depending on the a parameter values passed. Mark int is basically it will mark a particular position in a stream, and then reset, as I told you, it is basically reset the file position, I mean stream position, and Boolean mark supported, whether any location stream can be supported or not, it will return true or false like. So, these are the many methods that is required to control our input mechanism. Those are already defined in the input stream class. Likewise, there is class called the Java output stream classes. If the input stream is to read something from the input source, the output stream is just opposite. It will push the data into some output destination. Now, likewise, the input stream classes, it is also belong to the byte stream classes. This means that it will write something in the form of a byte, and this class has again can output data into memory, it can output data into a file, it can output data into a network channel. So, it is same as input stream, but only the thing is that input is taking and output is pushing. So, output stream classes is therefore used to write 8-bit bytes, and like input stream classes, each also supports a number of methods. For example, writing a bytes into an output source, output destination, closing the stream, flushing stream, and etc. Now, like input stream also, it has many methods in it. Now, one particular class belong to this Java output stream is called file, and then there file, piped output stream, buffer output stream, filter output stream. Filter output stream, if we consider, there are again varieties, data output stream, pushback output stream, and like this one. So, it is like this, from different source into the different source, how we can put data into that. So, that is why it is there. For an example, if we consider say byte array output stream is basically tells that how you can put some data into an array in memory. It is an example like this one. So, it is again there are many methods like write method, it basically gives an idea about how we can write a byte into a stream, output stream. Write byte b, it basically say that an array of bytes, how it can write into an output source. Write byte b in n and int m. So, it basically says that how m bytes from the array b starting from n bytes can be pushed into an output destination, and then close and flush is basically closing an output stream, and flush is basically output stream is basically cleaning. It is basically called output stream usually temporarily buffered, and then whenever you read whenever you push something before placing to an output, we need to clean it. If you do not clean it, the previous stream that can be used, it can be stored in the that buffer, that is why it is flush. And like the data input stream, there is one class called the data output stream. It is like the data input stream, as it can write data into many forms starting beginning with the bytes actually. So, its write short means write a short integer, write double, it basically write a floating point number, write int, write line, it is basically write a stream consisting of numbers or characters together, it is called the write line. then write long is basically writing a long integer, write character, writing a character into the output stream, write float, and then write boolean and write UTF. So, writing data into UTF format. So, these are the different methods, those are there in the data output stream. Now, here is basically syntax that write is basically return does not anything, this method it takes a byte b or just simply the byte that needs to be write into an output stream. It is an overridden method. There are 3 different overridden methods as we see, which we have mentioned here, 3 overridden method here, and this is the close method and this is the syntax of the method. Void close, void plus, that means they do not return anything, just do the work for the output stream. Now, so these are the byte stream classes we said, they are reading as a byte form. Now, another way of input output streaming, it is called character stream classes. Now, likewise there are many different methods are there, and broadly all the character stream classes can be divided into reader class and writer class. So, the reader class just like an input stream classes, it will read some data in the form of a character from either memory location, from a file or from a network channel. And write class is basically same as the data output streaming, it basically writes some data into memory or in a file, or it can pass the data into a network channel. Now, so these are the 2 classes and they are mostly in the same manner as this one. The difference is that the byte classes is basically deal the data in the form of a bytes, whereas the character stream classes deal the data in the form of a characters. Now, so reader stream class, as I mentioned that it basically this class is to read characters from some input sources, and it is in many ways very similar to input stream classes. On the other hand, writer stream classes basically write characters into the output destination targets. It is also in many ways very similar to the output stream classes. Now, here is the reader stream classes. So, reading input from some input source in the form of a character, and as we see in this figure, it can read like a buffer reader, it can read like a character array reader, it can read like a file reader, I am reading from a file, it can read just a string reader, read as a string of characters, it can read as a pipe reader, filter reader, pushback reader. So, there are different way that the reading is possible using the reader stream classes, it is mentioned here. Now, here is the one quick summary of the different methods we have mentioned here, and it is just for an information, and the details and everything is really very difficult to discuss. As we see here that we have mentioned that if we want to accomplish a particular task, then which classes that we can consider, whether it is basically character stream classes or byte stream classes. As we see, say suppose we can perform an input operation, if we want to do, so it can be done using both character stream class as well as the byte stream class. As an example, as we see here, performing input operation can be done using reader classes which are there in character stream classes, or input stream classes which are there in byte stream classes. Similarly, if we want to perform a task, say buffering an input means storing some data into a buffer. Every what is called the input source in general has their own buffer. For example, a keyboard has its own buffer. So, whenever you are typing from our keyboard, it is initially goes to the keyboard buffer, and from that keyboard buffer any program can read, either read as a character or it can be read as a bytes. So, if we want to read as a character, then the class that you should consider buffer reader, and if you want to read as a byte, so buffer input stream. This means that if you want to read a buffer, then and by means of say buffer reader, then we have to create an object of the class buffer reader, and then that object has its method, for example read method or the different methods as you have mentioned, and you can invoke the method for that object to complete the particular task. So, it is like this. As a particular example, if we want to write writing to a file. So, there is again both character stream classes as well as byte stream classes, the method is there. As you see, writing to a file has the file writer if we want to use the character stream classes, and then file output stream if we want to use the byte stream classes, like this one. So, this basically gives a idea about if we want to perform, not all, I have mentioned only few tasks, those are very important. These are the different tasks if we want to perform. Then if we want to use the character stream class, then we have to use this one, and if we want to use byte stream class, then we have to use this one. So, these are the just for the information that what are the different methods are there, but all these things is not possible to learn in just in one module. So, we will follow step by step methods using each class and then each task rather, then how it can be done. So, this is the better way, so that we can learn about the input output stream classes into the program. Okay. So, this is basically the topics for today, and in our next module we will discuss about how step by step method to handle the different way of input output mechanism using IO stream concept in Java programming. Thank you very much.